The roar of engines had once been his heartbeat, the open road his only sense of freedom. But now, as the sun dipped behind the distant hills and cast long, unforgiving shadows across the dusty field, man once known as Steele sat motionless in a wheelchair, staring at the empty space where his left leg used to be. The world felt unbearably quiet without the sound of his Harley beneath him. It was in that silence that he realized something crushing. He wasn't the man he used to be, and maybe he no longer wanted to be. If you believe in kindness, in redemption, and in second chances, make sure to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. Steele had been a respected Hell Angels biker, feared by many, admired by even more. His body told the story of his life, tattoos of battles, scars of survival, and muscles shaped from years on the road. The gang wasn't just his family, it was his identity. But all of that changed the night the crash shattered his world. One moment he was racing under the stars with the wind tearing past him, and the next he was waking up in a cold hospital room, greeted not by the rumble of engines, but by the beeping of machines and the hollow ache of loss. His left leg was gone. The doctors said he was lucky to be alive. Steele disagreed. The weeks after the accident drained him. He stopped meeting his brothers, refused visitors, and shut himself away in a small, worn-down cabin at the edge of town. The biker who once burned with fire had become a man made of ashes, quiet, bitter, and hollow. His motorcycle gathered dust in the corner, its chrome fading like the last sparks of the life he had lost. He thought the world had let go of him, so he let go of the world. But everything changed the afternoon he met her. Her name was never the first thing people noticed. What struck them instead was the softness in her eyes, a softness that somehow didn't feel weak, but strong in a way Steele couldn't understand. She arrived in the field behind his cabin while he was trying and failing to push himself through the uneven terrain in his wheelchair. He was furious at the world that day, angry at the soil for being rough, at the stones for being sharp, at his own body for betraying him. When the wheel hit a rut and sent him forward onto the ground, he didn't bother to get back up. He just lay there, staring at the sky, wishing he could disappear into it. That's when she appeared beside him, kneeling gently in the grass, not touching him at first, just being there. Her presence didn't feel intrusive. It felt like she brought warmth the sunset alone couldn't give. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. She didn't offer pity, didn't flinch at his scars, didn't stare at where his leg used to be. Instead, she looked straight into his eyes, seeing the man behind the anger, behind the pain. As days passed, she kept showing up. Sometimes she brought food, sometimes tools, sometimes nothing at all, just a calm determination to sit with him in silence, if that's all he could handle. Steele resisted her at first, pushing her away with coldness and sharp words that once made grown men back off. But she didn't budge. She talked to him like he was still whole, still worthy of the world, still capable of something more than the dark corner he had trapped himself in. Over time, her presence chipped away at the walls he'd built. She helped him rebuild little things, his garden fence, the ramp to his cabin, the confidence to move his wheelchair on his own. And slowly, the man who had forgotten how to feel began to feel again. Her laughter stirred something long buried. Her encouragement lit sparks in the ashes. She never tried to fix him. She simply reminded him he wasn't broken. One day, she brought him outside to the field again. As the sunset painted the sky gold, the light warmed his skin, and for the first time since the crash, Steele realized he wasn't thinking about what he had lost, but about what he was beginning to regain. She placed her hand on his shoulder, steady and sure, and he felt strength radiate through her touch. Not strength she was giving him, but strength she was uncovering within him. It was then he finally understood. She wasn't there to save him. She was there to walk beside him, no matter how many miles he could or couldn't travel. As weeks turned into months, Steele began reclaiming his life piece by piece. He learned to navigate the town again. He visited his biker brothers and found that they didn't see him as less of a man. He started repairing his motorcycle, not to ride it as he used to, but to honor the part of him that still loved the road. And with her by his side, he discovered something he never expected. He could create a future that looked different from his past, but no less meaningful. Steele found hope in a place he never thought he'd find it, in the quiet moments, the shared smile, the rebuilding of small routines, the soft but persistent belief someone else had in him. She didn't just give him companionship, she gave him a reason to try again, a reason to rise each morning and fight for a life worth living. If this story has touched your heart, even a little, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe so you don't miss more stories like this. Before we end, here is a special request. Comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel. In the end, Steele didn't become the biker he once was. he became something stronger. A man who had faced the road's harshest turn and survived. A man who learned that losing something doesn't mean losing everything. A man who realized that sometimes life sends someone at the exact moment you're certain you have nothing left, and they remind you that even in your darkest hour, you are still worth saving. And because of her, Steele found the courage to keep moving forward, not on two wheels, not on two legs, but on hope, resilience, and a heart healed by love.